Hey there guys, Fireman Official here, and welcome to this Age of Empires 4 build order for the Mongols Horseman Rush. Now first things first, as you can see, things are very different for the Mongols. Their TC is packed up, so you'll want to take it over to a wood line and unpack it. You have 6 villagers to start off with, take 5 on sheep and 1 to build the Ovu, which is a specific building for the Mongol civilization. This building can only be built on stone, and it's the only way that the civilization can gather stone. It does it over time passively. You can also build buildings around the Ovu, and it gives you the option of producing double the units with an extra stone contribution. The other thing is you don't need houses as the Mongol civilization, and you have the unique unit, the Khan, which has various flares you can use, giving you different bonuses. Of course, at this stage we're going to use the flare that makes it move faster, and try and gather as many sheep to bring back to the TC as possible. The villager that has built the Ovu will go to wood, and new villagers from the TC go to wood as well. As a recap, you get 5 on food, 1 to build the Ovu and then go to wood, and 3 to wood to make 4 in total for now on wood. As you can see, we're scouting around with our scout, and we're slowly thinking about getting as many sheep as possible, but also about where our opponent might be. Okay, now that we've got 4 villagers on wood, the next villager from the TC will go towards the Ovu to build a stable. You may have to force drop off a little bit of wood, but you may get away with it. In this scenario, we actually force drop a little bit, and then we build our stable within the influence of the Ovu. That villager that's building the stable, once built the stable, and will go to gold. New villagers from the TC will go to food. We'll get an extra 5 villagers on food to make the total count on food to be 10. We've got a decent number of sheep now. We need to get perhaps a couple more, and then we need to scout our opponent. Now the best thing to do is to try and hit a gold pile if you can. We are up against the Rus civilization in this game, so it's a bit tricky because of course the Rus can get gold in other ways, so we're not going to necessarily stop them getting up to Feudal Age, but we'll do our best to create some idle time, maybe get a villager pick or 2. That villager's going to the gold there. Keep an eye on that villager, because as soon as you hit 100 wood, you need to build a mining camp. Now, at this point you can already start producing your horsemen. I delay things just a little bit, because I'm actually going to protect my villagers that are going to go forward for outposts. And I'm of course going to have to protect them with the horsemen. But as you can see, we've put them off gold a little bit already with the Khan. Now, once you have got 10 villagers on food, you'll want to send 1 villager to gold. And it will also be your marker to send 1 villager from wood to gold as well. That will give you 3 villagers on gold. The next 2 villagers from the TC will go forward to build outposts where they can. And as you can see, I've started to produce the horsemen from the stable next to the Ovu, and I'm doing it in pairs of 2 using the stone. Before clicking up to the next stage, I tend to go for 2 pairs of horsemen, so 4 horsemen in total. Okay, so far so good. Okay, now once your 2 villagers have gone out forward to start looking towards building outposts, new villagers will go to wood, and you'll take the 3 villagers that are on wood to build your chosen landmark and advance to Feudal Age. At this point you'll have on the field 2 villagers, should have 4 horsemen, and 1 Khan. And this is why we protect our villagers. These wolves are a bit pesky. And now we're going to look to drop our outpost and try and just cause a bit of harassment to your opponent. Now at this point, you want to actually continue to produce horsemen, and you can do it in pairs again from the stable next to the ovu. The reason why I'd recommend to continue getting horsemen is because you may be up against pressure and you want that movement value that they have to cause some harassment to your opponent's villagers. Get a vill pick if you can, it would be ideal, and also protect those outposts. This will tide you over until you reach Feudal Age, and after you do, you can build an archery range to produce some archers. Once you have actually advanced to the next stage, or at least started to build the landmark to do so, you'll want to get your economic upgrades as well. In particular, you'd want to think about getting forestry because wood will really be important, and also wheelbarrow. As you can see, we've got the outpost, and that will really help things. And with our opponent going for spears, it makes the counter unit, archers, all that much more of a suitable approach for this build. And as you can see, we continue to get horsemen in there and just deny this gold and get a few villager picks as we can. Now that we're in Feudal Age, you can see we're getting our archery range, and this is again the reason why it's really good to have an outpost there. It protects your villages to build forward buildings. Now, as you've seen, we've just continuously got more villagers on wood, because the plan is, of course, to get archers out, but we also want to get a blacksmith for the upgrades, the attack upgrades and the defense upgrades. I'd usually recommend getting iron undermesh, which gives you 1 armor against ranged attack. This will help you actually kind of go a bit closer to the TC to snipe villagers and absorb some of that pressure. At this point, you probably need to transition to deer from the sheep, because they're probably expired by now. And as you can see, we're getting our archer numbers up. We have wheelbarrow, we have forestry, and we're going to start getting our unit upgrades. We start off with iron undermesh there. We're going to continue building outposts where we can. So guys, as a follow-up plan, I'd really recommend continuing the Feudal Age pressure. Don't forget to upgrade your early horsemen to horsemen. We've got the iron undermesh armor upgrade already, and just try and harass your opponent, get a villager pick or 2 if you can. Continue to produce archers and research siege engineering from your blacksmith so you can start to build rams to take out your opponent's buildings. Also, don't forget, in the Feudal Age you can make the use of the attack speed arrow from the Khan, which fires a signal arrow that increases the reload speed of nearby ranged units, including the Khan, by 50% for 5 seconds. So guys, hope you enjoyed this build order tutorial. If you did, feel free to give the video a like, it really helps the channel. And consider subscribing to the channel if you'd like to see more build orders like this. In particular, if you'd like to see the French Royal Night Rush, click the right hand card screen now. If you'd like to see some civilization guides for Age of Empires 4, click the left hand card screen now. Take care guys, and see you soon.